He was a millionaire in a tailored coat, sitting alone on Christmas Eve, with a worn-out teddy bear, and then a tiny voice sliced through the airport noise like a siren. "Mister, are you lost too?" São Paulo's international terminal was packed shoulder to shoulder, the loudspeakers spitting out delays and gate changes while exhausted travelers dragged carry-ons and stared at their phones. In the middle of all that chaos sat Ethan Cross, perfectly still near a window, as if motion itself might crack him open. Beside his polished dress shoes and leather briefcase, the teddy bear looked out of place, old stitching one-button eye slightly crooked. Ethan kept it close anyway, his fingers resting on it like it was the last thread connecting him to a life he no longer talked about. That's when Lily appeared no more than 5 cheeks pink from the cold air conditioning, wearing a knitted cat hat and hugging a small backpack to her chest. She tilted her head, studying Ethan like she could see right through the expensive suit. "I can help you find your mommy," she said, calm and certain, like this was the simplest problem in the world. Ethan's throat tightened. He almost said, "I'm not lost." But the word wouldn't come. Instead, he crouched slightly and asked softer than he meant to, "Are you the one who's lost?" Lily nodded, still smiling. "My mom was here. Then Candy?" And she disappeared. Ethan should have called security. He should have followed protocol. But Lily held out her pink-gloved hand, pure trust, no hesitation. Ethan stared at that small hand, then at the battered teddy bear, and something in him shifted. He stood, took her hand, and said, "Okay, let's find her together." Lily didn't walk like a lost child. She walked like a tiny detective with a mission, tugging Ethan Cross through the terminal, as if she'd done this 100 times. The crowds parted in waves, holiday travelers rushing carts, squeaking coffee, spilling, yet Lily kept her chin up, scanning faces with serious little eyes. "First, the candy store," she announced, pulling him toward a row of glittery shop windows drenched in Christmas decorations. "That's where I saw the gummy bears. My mom lets me have the red ones." Her voice stayed bright, like fear was something other kids carried, not her. Ethan followed, quiet and steady, his long stride slowing to match her short steps. He felt people watching, some smiling, some suspicious, because a man in a sharp suit holding hands with a 5-year-old always looks like a story waiting to happen. But Ethan didn't care. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about meetings or money or deadlines. He was listening. Really listening. Lily talked non-stop. "My mom has hair like sunshine," she explained. "And she wears glasses when she writes. She's making a story about a turtle that learns to fly." "A flying turtle," Ethan murmured, surprised by the warmth creeping into his chest. Lily nodded like it was obvious. In stories, anything is possible. They checked the candy shop. Nothing. The food court. Nothing. The little arcade corner. Still nothing. Lily's smile finally wobbled for half a second. Then she caught it and straightened it back into place. "Maybe she's looking for me too," she said, thinking hard. "And we keep missing each other." Maybe Ethan answered gently, kneeling beside her, so his voice didn't feel bigger than her bravery. As they stood, an airport employee slowed down, eyes narrowing at the sight of them. "Sir," he asked carefully, "is that your daughter?" Ethan hesitated, logic screaming, "Say no. Follow protocol." But Lily looked up at him with pure trust, like he was the safest thing in this whole chaotic building. Ethan's throat tightened. "Yes," he said softly. "We're just trying to find her mother." A few minutes later, the airport intercom crackled to life, one of those flat, robotic announcements that usually blends into the noise. But this time it landed like a lightning strike. The message described a missing little girl, curly brown hair, red coat, cat-shaped backpack. A nearby flight attendant turned her head, eyes flicking from the ceiling speaker to Lily's face, then to Ethan Cross's hand wrapped around hers. "I think they're talking about her," the attendant said gently. "Come with me." Lily's eyes lit up like Christmas lights. She squeezed Ethan's fingers harder and whispered triumphant, "See, I told you the magic would work." Ethan didn't know what to say to that word magic because his life had been built on numbers, contracts, and certainty. But as they followed the attendant through a short corridor toward the security desk, he felt something shift in his chest, like a locked door loosening. Lily hummed under her breath, badly off-key, a child's version of Silent Night. And Ethan realized with a strange ache that he recognized the melody. Then they turned the corner. A woman stood at the counter gripping her purse strap so tightly her knuckles had gone pale. Her blonde hair was messy from running, her cheeks flushed not from cold, but from fear she was trying to hide. The second Lily saw her, she broke free with a squeal. "Mom!" Mara dropped to her knees and caught Lily in a crushing hug, as if the world might steal her again if she blinked. "Oh, baby, are you okay? Are you okay?" she kept whispering, laughing and crying at the same time. Ethan stopped a few steps back, suddenly unsure where to put his hands, his heart thumping like he'd done something dangerous. He started to edge away quietly, politely, planning to disappear before anyone asked questions. But Mara looked up, eyes shining, and her voice cut through him. "Wait," she said. "You brought her back." Mara rose slowly, still holding Lily like she was afraid the air itself might steal her again. Her eyes stayed locked on Ethan Cross, sharp, grateful, and trembling around the edges. "Thank you," she said. And it wasn't the polite kind people toss out like spare change. It was the kind that comes from the bottom of your ribs. Ethan tried to shrug it off. "She did most of the work," he murmured. "I just kept her company." But Lily, now safe and glowing, reached into Ethan's side without asking, like she'd known him forever, and pulled out the worn teddy bear he'd been guarding in silence. The bear dangled from her small fingers, stitched ear loose, button eye crooked. Mara's gaze snapped to it, and her expression changed. Not curiosity, recognition. The kind that doesn't need an explanation. "Sweetheart," Mara asked carefully, "where did you get that?" Lily hugged it to her chest. "It was in his bag," she said, matter-of-factly. "He looked lonely. So I borrowed it." Ethan's mouth opened,